it's been a while since I've last posted a video, and I apologize. I've been wanting to post several videos, I just haven't found the time to do so. But I'm finally going to show you guys my 2022 makeup empties. There are not that many, but honestly, that's kind of what I want. Especially now that my makeup collection is becoming more and more curated, I want to have my progress be kind of reasonable, and I don't want to just create a bunch of waste by using things up super quickly. So I'm glad that I'm not contributing too much waste, though obviously everything's relative. I'm just going to start, and the first empty is the only non-makeup empty, but I thought I'd include it because it is a perfume and I never finished any of those. But this I got for free back when I was in middle school because my older sister's friend was getting married and she got a bunch of gift cards to Victoria's Secret for her bachelorette party. Obviously, they had a deal for if you spent so much money then you get a free mini perfume, and because she spent so much, she ended up getting 3 free mini perfumes. So I ended up getting one of them, and I used it a lot when I was, I guess, in high school, but I, for some reason, stopped using it because I was like, oh, I need to save it for special occasions. I dyed the tiniest amount at the bottom, and this year I just decided to use it up to like 2 or 3 days just because I thought it was ridiculous that I was keeping it. I'm like, you know what, the special occasion isn't going to happen, especially because a pandemic hit. So yeah, this guy is gone, and now I don't have any perfumes, which is completely fine because I don't need perfume. Most smells I don't even like anyway. I didn't mind that scent. It was the Victoria's Secret Very Sexy Now. It was fine. It wasn't my favorite scent ever, but most scents aren't. But it wasn't bad. So moving on to mascaras, we have the CoverGirl Flourish by Lash Blast. I believe they discontinued this because I looked into repurchasing it and it no longer exists, which is kind of sad because I did really enjoy this. I really liked the separation that it gave with the thinner wand that with the rubber bristles. I thought it didn't give the most volume or the most length, but it was a really nice everyday mascara, and it didn't flake or smudge that much on me. And yeah, I thought it was just very easy to comb through the lashes, and it gave really nice definition. And I would have repurchased this if I could, but I ended up going with the CoverGirl Exhibitionist. I believe one of these was used up before the Flourish and one after. And I do really like this. I repurchased it again. It's what I'm wearing on my lashes. It's a little bit harder to comb things out, but you could just use a lash comb. I'm just too lazy to get my lash comb, even though I have one. But it is similar to the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I've never used that, but I know it has that hourglass, more natural bristle effect. And it does add a lot of length and volume, and it doesn't flake that much, except for when it gets a little bit older, there might be a little bit of flakes, but it doesn't smudge. And so yeah, I finished 2 of those, and I'm probably just going to continue to repurchase this despite it keeps raising in price, as if it already wasn't expensive enough for a drugstore mascara. But I don't want to waste money on mascaras that I don't know will work, so I'd rather spend a little bit more on mascara that I know will work. So yeah, the last time I wanted to get it on a deal, because at Walgreens it was like, oh, buy one get one 50% off, but there's only one left at the store, so I didn't get the deal, and I was annoyed. And I was looking around at like the rest of CoverGirl, like, do I want anything else from CoverGirl that I can get 50% off? And I'm like, Anna, no, you came here for mascara, don't need anything else. But I digress. Let's move on to face powder. There's only one of them. It is the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder. The packaging broke a long time ago. It was fine. It came with a section down here, but no sponge, which I think I made a rant about that at one point in one video. If you remember, I just ranted about the packaging. It's really stupid. This was fine if you want a mattifying translucent powder. That's just not something I'm into. I don't want to look that matte. My skin isn't oily enough to warrant me wanting to look that matte, and I think it just looks a little bit too dry for my skin type. Other than that, I have no complaints. I think if you had oily skin, you might appreciate this. It was only $6, so it wasn't a bad deal. I just wouldn't repurchase it because I prefer a bit more glowy, or skin natural finish powders. Keeping with the theme of base products, we have concealers. I only finished 2, surprisingly, but one of them is the Milani Conceal and Perfect in the shade 100 Pure Ivory. And this one, by the time I got into 2022, I think the stopper had been out, or it was almost taken out, and it started to dry out a little bit. It was pretty old, and I was mostly just using it as a spot concealer. I remember back when my skin was a little bit oilier and when this was a bit newer, I didn't mind it. On my under eyes, I thought it was a little bit thicker, and it is good coverage, but I think it was better on my face than my under eyes. But once it started drying out and my skin started getting a little bit less oily, it had to be just kind of spot concealing, which it was very effective for. And then I think I used it up by mixing it with, I think, a lip liner, mixing that with a lip liner and then using it as a blush to use them both up. So if you have dry skin, I don't think this would be for you. To be fair, it did dry up and kind of become thicker as I took the stopper out, so my memory's a little bit fuzzy, but I wouldn't repurchase this because I think that the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, which is the other one I finished up, is a much better fit for me. This is in the shade Fair Warm, and it seems like it's going to be a little bit dark and yellow for me, but I think my face is a little bit different color than my neck, and so it kind of neutralizes the color of my face to match my neck, and it works out that way. This one looks a lot better on my skin because it is more hydrating, and I don't find that it creases that badly, but take that with a grain of salt because my skin isn't exactly the creasiest skin because I'm only 20. I'm wearing my replacement for this today. I'm actually almost done with that one as well. I think I need to take the stopper out soon. But yeah, it works. I use it on my face, I use it on my under eyes, and then I powder it down, and it might be a little bit shiny throughout the day, but I'd prefer that than looking really dry and matte just because of my skin type. Last thing before lip products, I have the e.l.f. Wow Brow Gel in the shade Neutral Brown, yes. And I'm wearing that again today. The replacement, I bought a little bit too many replacements on accident, but it's okay. And I think this just works really well. I can't necessarily attest to the hold because that's not what I'm looking for, but my brows don't exactly kind of do their own thing. They generally stay in place so long as I put this in, and it adds a nice tint. Sometimes when I put makeup, it washes out my brows and makes it look cooler tone, so this brings the color back. I wish that there was a color that was like this, but a little bit warmer and maybe a little bit lighter. This works with my natural brow color, but if I want to make it match my hair color, it's not the same. But I do like it. I've been using my next one. I don't wear nearly as much brow product as I used to. I transitioned from using like eyeshadow or brow powder in my brows, and it was a bit blockier. And in hindsight, I don't like the look, but you know, if I like the look back then, go you. But I don't think it was the best look for me. And then I moved on to this, but now I feel like I'm using less product than I used to. I think I filled it in more with the brow gel, but now I just kind of sweep it in once, comb it out, and I don't re-dip or anything. I don't want to add too much. I don't want my brows to overpower my face. They're already pretty strong on their own. They don't need much help. So, and I have been shaping my brows in a way that they're less thin than they used to be. There was a time where I, a little bit accidentally, just were plucking my brows thinner. Not super thin, obviously, but they were a little bit more thin and arched. And I think it just happened because I did it maybe on one side and I wanted them to match, and you know how it goes. But I've let them grow a bit more, and I think I like the brow shape I have the best right now. Versus, you know, before I started plucking them, they were a little bit unkempt, and I didn't like it. And then, let's not talk about 8th grade. Let's not talk about that. Middle schoolers, we all made bad decisions with our brows in middle school, didn't we? Right? My brows were so short. I don't understand. And they rounded off. Okay, it's fine. Anyways, let's move on to lip products. Starting with lip liners, I have 2 from Essence. One of them is from an old line, and I don't remember what it's called because it's that old and they don't sell it anymore. But it was in the shade Under My Skin. It was a very pretty pink. I didn't love the color. I'm not usually drawn to super pink tones on my lips, so I ended up using it up as a blush mixed with that concealer and also just on its own. Whatever I needed to do to finish it up. I do really like the formula. I preferred this formula to the, I think, soft contouring one, which is a newer one. I think they still sell this line. They seem to like make the same lip liners, but then just cancel them and remake a slightly different one, but they all look the same and they just have different colors. For context, this is Essence. I don't know if I said that. This was in the shade My Choice, and it was a bit of a warmer neutral color. At first I bought it and I was like, oh no, this color does not look good on me. It doesn't work. But for some reason I started to like it. And I think what I did was I just lined the outer part and then I'd put a lipstick on the inside and it would kind of perfectly blend it so that I wouldn't have a super harsh line. I don't like a super harsh line for my lips, especially if it's a really dark or bold color. So for the dark, bold, warmer colors, this worked really well for making it look a bit better on my lip shape, so I don't have to go straight in or straight on top of the lip liner with the color. It kind of creates a fade. And I would want to repurchase something similar. I'd want a cool tone and a warm tone. I have not bought lip liners though, just I'm waiting until I need to replace some things, and then I might as well make an Ulta order with everything, and I'm surviving okay without my lip liners. I've been trying to use up lipsticks anyway that don't really require lip liner because they're more of a nude shade on me. So, you know, it's okay. I'm making it work, but I do really like these. This one was a lot creamier though, and I preferred the really firm pencil formula of the older one because I thought it just stayed in place better, which I think that's what the lip liner is supposed to do. I don't know, but the creamy one did help it blend better, so there's pros and cons. Either way, I'm thinking of trying the NYX lip liners instead of Essence, just because I've heard good things about them. They have a lot of color options. Moving on to something that I used so long ago that it doesn't even feel like it was the same year, the Pacifica Natural Color Quench Lip Tint in the shade Blood Orange. I didn't love this. The color was, the thing about these is that they're almost like, there's like an iridescent sheeny quality to them that translated less on the lips than it did in the tube, but it did kind of make the color a little bit hard to pinpoint. This wasn't my favorite color, neither were, but I think I preferred the Sugared Fig one. This one is a bit more orangey, obviously. And it was fine. The scent was kind of like those vitamin gummies that are shaped like orange wedges. It wasn't the most moisturizing thing ever. I didn't love the color. The formula was just a little bit weird for me. It was fine, and that's why I used it up. If I hated it, I wouldn't have. But the last thing that I used up in 2022, I'm not counting any eyeshadows because there were so many Frankens that I used, but then I decluttered some that I legitimately lost track of what is gone or not. I don't know what I used up, and I don't feel like going back and doing the calculations. I'm just too lazy. So I did finish a good amount of eyeshadows, I'm sure, but they were all Frankened into each other, and I don't know how many, and I don't feel like figuring out how many. So I'm not counting that. I will count for this next year. But just keep that in mind. The last one that I finished in 2022 is the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper Lip Gloss in the shade Prismatic Peach. Now, I used to be a lip gloss girl. Like, that was mostly only what I wore. I wasn't really into lipstick. I didn't own lip liner for a while, and you know, I might wear a little tinted lip balm, but I was mostly just doing lip gloss, lip gloss, lip gloss. I mean, the first year that I was painting, I think I finished 5 lip glosses that year, because most of them were already halfway through, because I was just wearing all the lip gloss, and I don't know what happened, but after I used this up, I suddenly was just done. I don't want lip gloss, I don't like the feeling, I don't even like the look anymore. I don't know what it was. I did really enjoy this though. If you are into lip gloss, I would highly recommend these. They aren't the best money for how much you get, but if you're someone who has multiple lip glosses and you know that they expire quicker than you would like, then that's not necessarily a bad thing, because then you can use it up before it expires. This one was a sheer formula with a lot of iridescent sparkles, which was really pretty. It wasn't one of their more cream opaque ones, nor was it one where, like, I have, I think, Luminoso, which has a little bit more pigment and the sparkles aren't as big or iridescent. They're like more subtle, consistent sparkles. So it seems like they have 3 formulas, 4 if you include just the normal clear one, which I also have. I was gonna put the clear one on today. I put it on. I didn't like the feeling, I didn't like the look, and I didn't like the smell, and I took it off. I don't know what it is. I hate lip gloss now. So I have 2 lip glosses that I wanted to use up, but I don't want to force myself to use it because I am not enjoying them and I don't know what to do because I used to love lip gloss. What happened? Anyways, if you are into lip gloss, I would highly recommend the Milani ones. At the very least, this one is really good. I think they all are. I just changed my preferences, but if I were to choose a lip gloss, I wish I just repurchased this. I don't think I like the Luminoso color or effect as much as I did this one because it was very unique and very fun. So that means that my total makeup items that I used up were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I also, oh, just kidding, 11. And then I also have 12 if you include the perfume. So that's pretty decent. I mean, half of them are just everyday basics like mascara, concealer, and powder, and brows, but I'm especially proud of all the lip products that I used up because those take a little bit more effort and consistency, because I am more drawn to reaching to different lip colors than wearing the same one every day like I am with mascara or concealer. So yeah, hopefully I will have as good or better results by the end of this year, but sorry for how late this was. Yeah, but thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you have an amazing day. Bye!